Hey, how's it going? Appreciate you for tuning into another episode. So in this one, I got to talk about the Celtics, who went into New York, faced off against the Knicks. The game turned out to be a really good one. Wasn't going to go instant classic. That might be going a little bit too far, but it was definitely the best of the four matchups from this season. The previous three, the Celtics had blown out the Knicks. This one, the Knicks put up more of a fight. The Celtics were down. Horford and Jaylen Brown played, but I'll get to him in a little bit. Came down to a possession late in the game, getting it to Tatum. Tatum working on OG and Anunoby, hitting a jab step back three over him, 2.9 seconds to send it into overtime where the Celtics prevailed. But looking at the star of the game, you got to go with Porzingis, who had 34 points. He went 8 for 13 from three, including one that was well onto the logo. So he had a, happy return to the building where he once called home, even though a lot of Knicks fans didn't like the pick, but you already know that story. So Porzingis, great. Tatum, great as well. Like I said, he had 32 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and he had a steal, he had a block. Like he filled out all the categories. And as I mentioned before, hit the shot to send the game into overtime after he got on a roll in the fourth quarter, abusing Mikal Bridges. He hit some tough shots, but that's what great players do. The Knicks made the switch, put OG Anunoby on him to be a more physical presence, which for a couple of possessions worked. The Celtics weren't able to get Tatum the ball, but like I said, late in the game, he took a three in the corner, was fouled by Karl-Anthony Towns, went to the line, hit the first two, pure swish. The third free throw rimmed in and out when they were down by one. The Knicks went the other end. I believe Brunson took a tough step back three over Porzingis, which he missed, but OG Anunoby crashing the boards, got the rebound, put it back in. I believe that was the play. There's a couple of plays late in the game. I might be getting them mixed up, but that's what. Let's go off of that. Knicks are up three. Celtics come down, and you knew Tatum was going to get the ball. The question was going to be, would the Knicks foul him before he takes the three, or would they blitz him and force him to give it up to somebody else? The Knicks decided to leave OG on him one-on-one, didn't foul him, and like I said, Tatum went to his right, little jab step, caught OG off balance, Tatum stepped back, hit the three, and then the game went to overtime where the Celtics won 119-117. It was 119-114, then Brunson hit a meaningless three at the buzzer. So, talking about Jaylen Brown, I mentioned him earlier. Jaylen Brown played 22 minutes, did not look like himself. You could see it. Going up and down the court, you could see he was laboring. We know that the knee's been an issue for him this season. So Mazzulla, I guess you had to give him credit for this because I don't know how this would necessarily go down other teams with other star players. Mazzulla sat Jaylen Brown because you could tell it wasn't going to work. Like he didn't have any burst. He, like I said, lumbering up and down the floor. So Mazzulla sat him. No big deal there. Now the knee could be a problem come playoff time, but that's where roster construction comes into play. So if Brown can't give you, classic Jaylen Brown every night, other guys will have to fill in, right? You have Porzingis, who we've seen can take over playoff games and get you buckets. Derek White can do the same. Drew Holiday in the playoffs seemingly plays better than he does in the regular season, so he'll step up his game as well. Pritchard's had a great year. Hauser's had a really good bounce back year. Last year he struggled a bit, but he seems to be more locked in this year. And I don't know if Missoula decides to maybe extend his rotation out by one guy, because right now he's playing like 8 guys normally. If he wants to go to a 9th guy, could somebody like a Baylor Shireman get a few minutes in the playoffs because you have to monitor Brown's usage? I don't know if I would hate that, because Shireman has kind of shown when he's been given minutes, he can make some plays. He can shoot the 3. He can, get to the rim. He can create for others passing. So, obviously not going to rely on a guy like that for 20 minutes, but if he has to give you 5-10 to spell Jaylen Brown here or there and give other guys a rest, I wouldn't hate that. But obviously you want Jaylen Brown to be healthy for the playoffs, which, now after sweeping the season series against the Knicks 4-0, the Cavs locked down the number 1 seed, which they've kind of had for a little while now. You can see the way that the Celtics have been playing out the end of their regular season. The Celtics had conceded the 1 seed to Cleveland a while ago. And they kind of knew the 2 seed was going to be theirs because the Knicks were far behind. Celtics owned the tiebreaker anyway. But now it's official. The Celtics are locked in as a 2 seed. With 3 games left, where you got the Magic, with the Magic on Wednesday. Then, looking this up really quickly. But Magic Wednesday, then Friday you have the Hornets, Sunday the Hornets. So not necessarily a tough schedule, but with everything locked down, doesn't matter for the Celtics anyway. The only thing, I guess, if it matters to you, 1 more win, they get to 60 wins. Like I said, if that matters to you, then I guess that's what you'll be looking out for. So they can really take their foot off the pedal at this point. Play out the last 3 games, probably give guys like Jordan Walsh, Shireman, Tillman, Kada, all these guys, give them extended minutes, let guys like Tatum and Brown and those guys sit or play lesser minutes. Just to, I guess, keep the body warm and get ready for, I guess, next weekend when round 1 begins. But now as a 2 seed, Celtics fans and the team will obviously be watching the play-in tournament, which starts on Tuesday, to see who their first round opponent would be. I guess right now, based off of their records, the Magic would have the inside track to the 7 seed, thus being the Celtics' first round opponent. But outside of that, you have the Hawks, Bulls, and the Heat all vying for those 2 spots to face Cleveland and the Celtics. I would like to know, I guess, out of those 4, who would you rather meet in the first round? I mean, look, the Hawks, Heat, there's history there with the Celtics. Bulls, there's some. I feel like it's been a while since Celtics Bulls met in the playoffs, but I mean, you remember those years where you had when the Bulls had Derrick Rose and Ben Gordon and Joakim Noah. Like, there was some classic series against the Bulls. You got the Magic, who I think it's been a while as well since the Celtics have met the Magic in the playoffs, but they've had some interesting matchups throughout, I guess, the history. So, it would be interesting maybe to see the Magic in the first round. But like I said, let me know in the comments who you'd rather see from the Magic, Hawks, Bulls, or Heat in the first round. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing the Heat and send them out early, because that Heat Celtics definitely hits differently once you get to the playoffs. But yeah, so looking at the rest of the season, I feel like the Celtics will really dial back. And I look, Orlando would be coming off of a back-to-back with the game in New York last night. So I'd be shocked if Jaylen Brown plays. I think Tatum played about 42 minutes against the Knicks. Wouldn't be surprised if he sits against the Magic, and they kind of go from there. Like, also, yeah, before I got here, the the talk over on ESPN yesterday on First Take about, well, Perk brought up that the Celtics. Well, actually, let me backtrack. I think Paul Pierce got this started, where Paul Pierce kind of said the Celtics are the most disrespected franchise in the NBA. Now, look, that's neither here nor there. I mean, you ask other fan bases, they'll probably say that's crazy, but Pierce laid out, I guess, like the Bill Russell kind of being slighted in historical talk. Larry Bird. When you hear people naming top 10, a lot of people think Larry Bird gets underrated, and he was looking at himself, which we know when Pierce talks about himself, a lot of people do kind of roll their eyes. But look, I'm somebody who loved Paul Pierce on the Celtics. His story is fascinating. The fact that he almost died, but continued to play, gave it all for the team. I was so happy for him when, they finally won that title. He won Finals MVP. Like, it was a great coronation to his Celtics career. Obviously, he moved on to Brooklyn, but we don't count that. So, so it's like he kind of laid it out. I got to say, I didn't necessarily disagree with him because I've been one of those who has said, I think other Celtics fans agree, like, the Celtics run last year, they diminished it every chance they could. Come into this season, and the talk was still about they take too many threes, even though they literally are coming off of a championship, when these same people said they took too many threes. So you have all that this year. They talk MVP all the time. Nobody wants to throw Tatum in there. If they do, it's like in passing. And Windhorse is on there doing his air quotes to try to mock the narrative that Tatum is being disrespected. And look, maybe disrespected is the wrong word, but Tatum is definitely being undervalued. Like, let's be real about it. He doesn't do anything off the court, where now we're having to see every other night John Morant's in the news for gestures that he does celebrations, whether it's the finger gun pointing or whatever, which is now evolved into tossing a grenade. So that's like, do we ever get anything with that with Tatum? No. All we get is, Tatum gets a technical for clapping while others get to yell and spit. And I mean, obviously not spit, but I'm just saying, like, yell and rest faces. They get nothing. Tatum can clap and get a technical. We just saw Luka get ejected for cursing at a fan in the direction of a ref that he'd been cursing out all night, and people talking about the ref overreacted. Once again, Tatum gets technicals for clapping. So, like, I could go on for a while about the Tatum part of this, but Windhorse with the air quotes, because he's like, well, look at Tatum's contract. That's not disrespect. Yeah, he's respected by the team. Perk is talking about NBA analysts and I guess content creators and stuff like that. So Windhorse talking about he has the highest contract and he won a gold medal. The gold medal that he was clowned about because he was sitting on the bench. Yeah, that's showing respect. Got it. And it's just like, now ESPN is trying so hard to make us forget how they covered the Celtics last year. And it's laughable. So I just wanted to throw that in there because I thought it was funny watching Windhorse like try to be offended that Perk brings up Tatum being disrespected, even though Tatum's literally been disrespected. Once again, maybe I shouldn't use that word because maybe it's just being undervalued. I'll stick with that. Tatum's undervalued, but yeah, look, great win over the Knicks. Love seeing the Celtics sweep the Knicks because for us Celtics fans, always good to see Knicks fans put in their place. But I'll give the Knicks credit. The atmosphere It was rocking at the Garden. That was, don't mind me with that. But at Madison Square Garden, it was a great playoff atmosphere. Um, Knicks fans were definitely into it. Spike Lee and the usuals making a lot of noise. The image that you'll see as the thumbnail, that you've seen it, Carmelo just exhaling late in the game. It was a good sight. Which also congratulations to Carmelo making the Hall of Fame. Um, which I mean came off of a play where Mikal Bridges, who was supposed to be the big acquisition for matchups like this, fumbles a ball out of bounds late in the game. So, yeah. Well, I guess we'll see if this ends up being a playoff matchup. I guess in round 2 potentially. I think. Yeah, because the Knicks are the 3 seed. So this could be a potential second round matchup, which I think would be fun. Obviously, I would still give the Celtics the edge. Let's be serious here, but it'd be fun seeing a playoff matchup with TD Garden, Madison Square Garden for 4-5 games. I would enjoy it, not gonna lie. But like I asked a little earlier, let me know in the comments who you would like to see in the first round between Magic, Hawks, Bulls, Heat. For me, just for the satisfaction of seeing the Celtics send them home, hopefully in 4, maybe 5 games, I wouldn't mind seeing the Heat. So, but yeah, we'll figure all that out next week when the play-in starts on Tuesday. So, appreciate you tuning in. Would hit the like button, greatly appreciate it. It helps, I guess, with the algorithm and all that. I normally don't get into that, but it would help if you hit the like button. Leave a comment as well. I do respond to your comments, so don't think I will ignore it. So, like I said, let me know who you want the Celtics to face. Are you worried about Jaylen Brown's knee? Like, what are your thoughts on the Celtics going into the playoffs? You can leave me a comment with that, and we can talk about it down below. If you do want more sports talk, join the Discord. I am actually pretty active in the server for the show. So if you do want to talk, especially with the playoffs coming up, I will be in the Discord during the games talking. So if you want that interaction as well, feel free to join it. The link will be down in the description. So we'd love to see some of you in there. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. God bless. And I'll see you next video. All right. Bye.